Hello, everybody. This is Brian Wecht from Late Night with Brian Wecht. And what you are listening to now is our best/worst of 2022. I think you'll agree with me that it's, it's been quite a year over here at Late Night. And these are some of our favorite clips. I am so thrilled. I just want to say thank you all for continuing to listen to this podcast and support us. I love doing this show. It is such an honor to work with Layden and Jarek and get to talk to all these fantastic guests we've had. And we have had quite a run of fantastic guests this year. And we plan to keep going strong in 2023. Thank you all for being here. If you want to support the show, you can find us over at patreon.com/latenight. And hey, Happy New Year. And I'll see you soon.
So you guys have been at it for 2 years now.
Yes.
You guys have had some pretty, just scrolling down the guests, you got someone like Simone Gertz, you got Sung Wong Cho, Pro ZD, dude.
Yeah.
That was 2022. And Allison Fry, who I know.
Indeed you do. Okay, that's a great introduction because actually I think the person who occurs the most on this spreadsheet of best moments is in fact Allison.
Yeah, that's super tracks.
Deserved. One of my favorite moments from this year. It was the first episode that Allison was on this year, which is at the end where I do my peaches and then this happens. Number one peach, hold my hand. You're here. I love you so much.
It's gay.
I'm so glad that you live in LA.
I'm so gay.
I've been I got very emotional multiple moments through this episode because I just love you so
I
much.
love
Oh my
you.
God, I'm getting.
You're crying.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Anyway,
you.
I love you.
Oh, honey.
Whew, that never happens. Oh my God. Anyway, that was a really short clip.
That was the one where Allison threatens to kill you, right?
Yeah, basically.
Said it really, really seriously, brought down the energy in the room when she was no, I'm going to kill you, Layden.
Yeah, she had
And
a
then
plan.
we all started laughing, but it turned into nervous laughter.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the clip where I tell Allison I love her and I'm crying.
Oh, that's I feel bad for making fun of that now.
Yeah, feel bad. Shame. Degradation ceremony.
Yeah, have you cried on Late Night before?
Actually, yes. Oh, God, you keep setting me up for these segues, and I'm about to knock this shit out of the park.
I'm so good at this. I should say, the reason my voice sounds like it does is because I couldn't find any of the microphones in my house. So I'm currently sending this audio through a camera removable microphone that I have duct taped to a bunch of different wires so that it goes into my computer. And I don't know how this is going to sound, but I think the world of Jarek as well, and he will have to deal with this. And I am sorry.
I also like about that mic that it's just a little puffball.
I'm gesturing to the mic right now like I was a stand-up comedian because I just didn't have anything to hang the mic off of. In the industry, we call them dead cats. Those little furry little things that go on the end of microphones. So I just look like an idiot.
Oh, we all look like idiots. But speaking of me crying on this show, I think Allison in that clip where I tell her I love her and then she's like, that's so gay. And then the other one is the episode where we had the wonderful, amazing animator Kellen, KLN, and she was talking about transitioning. And it was just really beautiful and moving. And so here is, I believe, a clip about that.
And then getting HRT. I've been on that for 5 months now, and that's really nice. To me, that's where it feels like magic. It just feels like actual real life magic.
Yeah.
That was very moving when I started noticing changes and stuff like that. That was oh my God, stuff I could only dream about.
It's so cool watching friends go on HRT or T and I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I've followed a lot of people's transitions via private Twitter accounts and stuff. And there's just so much joy.
And it's amazing how quickly you start seeing changes too, right? It's not 2 years later, this is going to take effect. It's kind of almost right away, right?
Yeah, basically. And then other goals, I mean, I have goals that I haven't met, but the biggest one for me is vocal training. I want to do vocal training, but I haven't like started doing it yet. So, you know, obviously I'm not like projecting anything in my voice. It's all still so new too that I don't really like blame people who I haven't told directly if they're like, they call me dude or they call me man or bro or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. I don't, whatever.
Well, and also, well, if people do misgender you, if they're friends, they'd appreciate being corrected too, where it's like, hey, actually,
Oh yeah, my friends have been wonderful.
no one should be upset about being corrected about that. Like,
Oh no, for sure. Because I know that some people get like mad or defensive when they're told that they've done something like misgendered.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a human response to be defensive, but also it's like, come
But
the
it's
fuck
like
on.
no one really expected you to know. That's why we're telling you.
In general, I think about defensiveness a lot, and it is something that I actively try to erase from my personality. Everyone's defensive about different things.
Yeah.
Actually, the highest compliment I ever got from my therapist was she told me that I was the least defensive person she'd met. And I was like,
Aw,
fuck yeah, I am. That's right.
that sounds awesome.
I'm about to forward your therapist every What's Poppin' segment we've ever done
Okay.
in the run
So
of this show.
to be fair, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, to be fair.
Okay, yes.
Anyway,
All
so
right.
my point is defense. I get defensiveness, but with something like this, I'm also like, come on. If you get someone's name wrong, if you get someone's pronouns wrong, whatever, be corrected. And why would you not want to be
It's not
corrected
about
about that?
you.
It's not about
Like-
you. Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wasn't that nice? I
Aw.
really liked that episode.
oh, it's delightful.
Audrey. We all love Audrey.
Audrey's great, man. It's so cool to see your friendship with this tiny child blossom over the years.
Yeah, man.
And just to know that, like, the second you show up to Audrey's place, it's just immediately like, I have to show Leighton speed runs of Breath of the Wild.
Leighton.
She sees your face. She hits that glottal stop in your name just really, really hard. Leighton. And then she's like, you got to see these Breath of the Wild glitches.
Dude, I got her the most gamer Christmas presents.
Can you say what it is?
She's an avid listener of this show. No, I won't share it. It's Mario and Zelda stuff is what it
Oh,
is.
oh, that's great.
But she bought me a Christmas present with her own money. And we're having a Christmas tea next week where we will eat some fancy little sandwiches. And she's going to give me the Christmas present that she bought for me with her own money that she saved up. And I'm going to cry.
Oh, come on. That's great. That's good living.
Also, speaking of Christmas presents, I got Brian like a package of expensive luxury sardines.
Oh, nice.
I Googled old man food.
Does Brian like sardines?
He fucking loves sardines, and so does Audrey.
What an old man.
Yeah. Speaking of Brian being an old man, do you like how I'm doing this the way that Robert Evans throws to products and services on Behind the Bastards?
Okay, so I've been rewatching The Simpsons, and I finally made it to season 4, episode like 19, which is So It's Come to This, a Simpsons clip show episode.
Hey!
The energy which they so obviously did not want to do that episode, I would describe it as very like late night-y.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's why last year the clip episode was called So It's Come to This, a late night
Oh, really?
clip show. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Brian being an old man, we had a wonderful, iconic episode with the two wonderful people who make up Viper Club. And in this clip, Brian's going to talk about how our generation's pop culture leaves something to be desired.
No, I think we should all just acknowledge up front that the pop culture I grew up with is just inherently better and more valuable than anything you assholes saw when you were children, because that's the way the universe works, right?
I mean, the thing is, I can get made fun of for being a baby all you guys want in this chat. But the thing is, I'm a baby. I can shit myself anywhere I want. Who wins? I do.
You know what? That's a choice. Not shitting yourself is a choice we make every day. It's a choice you don't have to make.
It's a bad choice, in my opinion. I mean, that's just me.
For a while, this is a potential NSP tweet, was people who say don't shit where you eat vastly underestimate the ease of shitting where you eat.
That's so true.
Brian, I think that you need to have a specific theme song for any time you talk about a draft tweet.
Oh, well, actually, That's my lemon this week, which we'll get to later, involves draft tweets.
Well, and also like telling people what's in your drafts, like it's super funny, is sort of like when you're telling a story, but the whole point of the story is so you can share what funny thing that you said.
Yes.
But worse.
It's like explaining your dream to somebody. Nobody fucking cares. If it was interesting, they would have dreamed it. Am I right?
I took maybe to the vet today and she was really good. And there's like a little pet store. So I went in there and I got her these treats and they're like wild tuna jerky. And the lady recommended them for
Wild
like
tuna.
sensitive stomachs.
That was my nickname when I played football.
But these things, I don't know why I didn't foresee this being an issue, but this shit's so dank. It's like, yeah, that's tuna.
Damn.
That's tuna, all right.
I didn't know that you could do
Yeah.
jerky with tuna.
Stereotypically, cats are like the tuna people and dogs are like the beef people, right?
She loves it. Well, she's got her sensitive stomach. So I was like, what are sensitive dog treats?
Can you say sensitive with that stank on it again, please?
Sensitive.
There we go. I like that a
I'm
lot.
very sensitive.
Wild tuna. Why did that just kill me? I just imagine you like running around the field and the other coach is like, it's wild tuna, get his ass.
He's not on the team.
There are
Yeah.
like 4 guys like chasing you and you're like
That's
juking the
me.
shit out of them.
If your image of me playing football involves me moving quickly or indeed at all, or being on the field for any length of time, then you are vastly overestimating how much field time I got.
Yeah, that's why they called you wild tuna, because you're wrapped in plastic
Yeah,
laying
that's
on a
right.
bed of rice.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that was a great clip. But while we're on the topic of Viper Club, our number one most requested segment for this clip show was, in fact, another thing from this episode, which is the iconic tow truck story. So you will hear that now.
So Nate got this van before that tour.
And you guys are tempting fate with your surname and getting a van.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we are. We are tempting fate. And this van is like a Chevy.
It's a 90 Chevy G20,
Yeah. It's
which,
cool.
you know, could have gotten something more recent, but actually, no, I couldn't have. For our budget and like how good that engine was in that thing, that was just our option.
Honestly, any van made after 1991 isn't a real van.
True. We went from Colorado and then we were going to come back to Phoenix and play San Diego, LA, Tucson, Flagstaff. That was like the last 4, right?
Mhm.
So we got all the way to Colorado. Everything's fine. And so we leave Colorado at like 7 a.m. and I'm driving. Everything's good. Got to get out of Colorado traffic, which is like a bitch and a half, but like whatever.
Mhm. Because of the boulders that are just
Because of the
constantly-
boulders, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just, there's actually a guy throwing them at you too.
It's a real Donkey Kong situation.
Real Donkey Kong situation. So we get, I think I got about 3 hours down the road and Nate's like, oh, I'll take it for a bit. I'm like, cool, because I'm tired. And so I hop in the back and Nate and our bass player Carl, I'll get up front. And I think you guys drove for like,
2 hours probably.
I mean, if you're going to have a guy named Carl in the front of a van,
Fuck.
that's some tension right there. That's going to cause a problem. I could have predicted this.
in the Vanderpool van.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of psychic energy that's kind of building to a head here. You know.
absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more because they pulled up for gas
Mhm.
at this, it was like Wagon Mount, New Mexico. No one fucking lives
Yeah.
there. And so we pull off to this gas station. We get gas. Everyone goes inside, like shits all over the walls, and then we come back out. And so after we all get back in the van, Nate's like, all right, let's keep it going. And he starts up the van. It's like,
That's what I said. Exactly.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
won't go. Right. And we're like, what the hell's going on? Maybe it's a battery issue. Let's like wait it out for a sec. Like, won't go. We're like, what the fuck? And so at this point, we start freaking out. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck to do.
And wait, you have a show that night, like you're heading towards the next show?
We were heading to San Diego from there. We were going to stop in Phoenix because we had one day off, which is the drive day we were on.
So go home.
Go home, yeah. And then we go to San Diego and finish the tour up. So not knowing what the fuck to do. So I walk in the gas station and I'm like, hey, do you guys have like a phone number for like a tow company or something? And this one lady is like, yeah, they're like, I'll get that for you. And this other guy that works there is like, no, don't fucking use them. They're going to charge you up the ass. And I was like, okay, well, who else do I use? He's like, I don't know, but don't use fucking them. And I was like, you're not helping.
Helpful,
like
bro.
our-
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like pissed and flustered. So I literally looked at him and I was like, you're not helping me at all. And then he was like, well, I'm just trying to save you a couple bucks. I was like, I'm just trying to get home. Like,
Not to mention no phone service.
yeah, zero.
Right.
Nothing.
Of course.
Couldn't send a text because like new phones, like as soon as you don't have like 5G, it just doesn't work. I think we had like 3G. That's how bad that was. You couldn't even make a phone call.
That reminds me of a Josh Gondelman joke / tweet, which was, quote, the only 5G I'm interested in is a ghost.
So fucking
I've always
good.
really liked. Anyway,
Yeah, that's a great one.
I might have said more than 5Gs when I said that because I'm sure someone's counting. I said 6. Fuck.
Canceled.
Jarek, delete this episode.
So I ended up getting in touch with the tow company. This guy's like, don't fucking use them. And I was like, okay, fuck you. So I used them. And then I called a mechanic in Santa Fe. And I called like 3 different mechanics. And this one in particular that I called,
It was like 5 p.m. too, which is like national
Yep.
mechanic shop closing time.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And so this guy's wife picks up the phone from the mechanic shop. I explained the whole situation to her. She's like, hold on a second. Let me get my husband. He's like the head mechanic here. Like he can talk to you about it. And so he picks up the phone. Name is Rudy. Big shout out to Rudy. Coolest man ever. You'll soon find out why. And so I was like, hey man, like here's the situation. The guy diagnosed like the entire van right there on the phone, like not
Wow.
FaceTime, just over the phone. He was like, yeah, it's
Awesome.
probably like a bad fuel pump or whatever. Exactly what it was. And I was like, well, I'm trying to get my guys home.
A part of the car I didn't even know existed until you
Yeah.
said the word fuel
Same.
pump. Yeah.
Same. So I was like, hey, if I pay you like a little extra, will you stay late and like let us get towed to you? Because he knew the towing company because he had people towed to him before,
Mhm.
which is begs the question if it was a setup or not. But either way, like someone just messed up our fuel pump and then
Yeah. Some guy walks through with like a blow dart gun and goes, while you're in the store, right?
It was the guy who told you not to call that company.
Yeah.
He was like, it's a set.
Yeah, he had 30 minutes to get on the ground and pull my fuel tank off real quick.
He gets his voice changer, goes in the back, picks up the call. Yeah. Fuel pump.
So anyway, the tow truck finally shows up. This guy agrees to have the van show up and he's going to fix it for us, right? So my guitar player had to get home for something the next day. I forget what it was. So they ended up getting a rental car.
He had a test.
Okay, wait, did you say you had a test
Yeah.
for like college? Okay.
Yeah, college. Yeah.
I thought I don't know, like a blood test.
Oh, yeah.
If you're late to the blood test, they take all of your blood.
Then they just put a bunch of tested positive for things in there just to spite you.
Okay. Tow truck driver shows up. He gets out. Gangly dude. And he's like, I only have room for 2 of you. And we were like, what? And he's like, I'm just playing with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So he goes
Hell
inside.
yes.
His name is Stan. We all pile in. I'm sitting up in the front.
That wasn't even the first thing he said, though. The first thing he said, because I walked up to him, I was like, hey, how's it going, man? And he's like, hell of a lot better than you. And he put his like, hands on his hips and started laughing at us. He's like, y'all just out here. You don't know where you are.
Awesome.
This is straight up the first 20 minutes of a horror movie.
Yeah, just wait till we start driving. It got even worse. And so I sit up front with him and like the van is on top. The guys are crunched back there like sardines. And so before he even throws that shit in reverse, he gets like the vanity mirror and he pulls down a pack of orange slices, like the candy.
Uh-huh.
And he looks over and is like, y'all like orange slices? And we're like, no, we're good, man. He's like, all right, and just puts them down and starts shoveling orange slices in his mouth. And so he like throws it in reverse. We start going down the highway. So the tow truck caps out at 85.
Yeah.
This man was going 85 and a half. The needles
The
just like,
meter was like
the
going
whole,
like this.
the whole way. And as we're driving like through the twisty mountains of New Mexico, he's like, yeah, I actually just dropped off about 35 pounds of weed down there in Pueblo, Colorado. You guys want to try my weed? It's really good shit.
He's in the middle of the lanes. He's
Yeah.
like driving over the yellow line. It's like a 2-lane highway.
He's trying to sell us
And
weed.
it's a 2-hour drive to Santa Fe.
He's like, I mean, that's what they say when they try to stand weed. They're like, that's some good shit. They say it every time they try it.
Why wasn't Smokey and the Bandit about a weed delivery instead of a fucking Coors delivery. It's called Smokey, right? That should have been a truck full of weed.
Totally. This man would have driven the fucking truck, man.
Yeah.
So he dropped off like pounds and pounds of weed like everywhere. The whole time he's trying to get us to like buy weed from him.
He's talking about like the quality of his product.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, you can go to a dispensary and they're going to charge you up the ass, put all that tax on there, all that bullshit. I'll get you the same price, but I'll get you better weed. And I was like, you are not cutting me a deal. Like you just said you charge me more for like the same thing.
Can I pause you for just a moment, Jack? Your voice work has been stellar.
Oh, thank you.
I love the
entire
impressions.
episode.
Like really great. Keep it going.
Thank you. I grew up mimicking the TV. So he's like, yeah, it's good. Oh shit. Hold on a minute. And then like he pulls up his phone, puts on the dashboard. He's like, my girlfriend's calling me. And then like his click. Her name is Babe in his phone.
It was a FaceTime. It wasn't even a phone call. It was a FaceTime. Answers the FaceTime.
While driving.
Yeah. He doesn't have like a phone stand. He's just like holding it.
Like that. The whole time. He's like, yeah, I got a band back here. Check them out.
Yeah. Just stuck his phone like right in my face too. And I was like, hi, babe.
Yeah. What he say? He's like, you know, I just met the love of my life, and she's like kind of a freak about it, but and like just talking up his wife and shit. And I was like, are you trying to like pawn that off? Got confusing at a point because I was like, do you want me to buy the weed or like take your wife to Red Lobster? I'm confused.
Do you remember the steaks? What was he talking about with the steaks?
Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you. I forgot about that. So like in the midst of him talking about weed and his wife or whatever, he's like, oh, down there at that rest stop, they got this steak. I think it's like a 16-ounce sirloin. It's down there. It's good. Hold on.
At the rest stop.
At the rest stop. Yeah. And he like pulls out his phone. He's like, hold on a minute. And he's driving and he starts going like this. He's like,
he goes through his camera roll.
Two-handing it, like going down the highway, 85, needle is flipping out, and he's like
driving with his knees at this point.
And then he like does the thing where he like shows me the picture, and he like
he like
does like I'm like, I got it, I'm fine.
It's a steak. It's a picture of a steak.
It's a steak, and it was the shittiest picture of a steak I've ever seen in my life. Like it was so bad. It looked like
he took the picture on his DS.
Yeah.
Like for real.
So bad. Like, and I was like, that looks pretty good. And he's like, these guys want to get a look at it. And he's like, getting like whole band, like, look at my steak.
Oh my God.
He's like, oh, they got these mashed potatoes they put with it and they're so good. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you got to see the picture of the mashed potatoes. And then he like goes through this man just like took a picture like of his whole meal.
I remember this moment too, because whenever he started talking about like the sides and stuff, he had other pictures of the sides. And I remember like that's when I looked at the road and he's in the middle of both of the lanes. There's like a car like slowing down behind us because they don't know what's going to happen. And as he's trying to scroll through, he shifts the steering wheel to his knees and then he grabs another pack of orange slices and he's trying to open it with like one hand in his teeth while he has the phone.
Oh my God.
Just insanity.
This man is insane. And then, so we finally get to where we're going. Rudy comes out. Super nice guy. Like not only fixed the van, but also showed us like everything that we would ever need to know on the van. Like gave us fuses, gave us water.
He took so much of his time.
Like the other guys, they went to the airport to get their stuff and go home. So it was just Nate and I. So Nate and I are now responsible for getting this van home. Right.
And this is all the people the guy said, don't use these guys.
Yeah. They were like, don't use that guy. I was like, this is the best story I have from tour. The best thing that's ever happened. Besides the one time I met a mafia boss in New Jersey. That was even funnier.
Self-proclaimed.
Mm-hmm. That guy real quick. He was talking to all of us. He's like, yeah, no, actually, me and Netflix were actually talking about doing a thing. And
he opens Facebook Messenger and he's acting like he's going to call Netflix.
He's like, watch this. And he's like, because we had a guy that was with us that was Puerto Rican. He's like, hey, are you Puerto Rican? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I can tell. And he's like, watch this. I'm gonna get Netflix on the phone right now. There's 10 of us standing around him with his phone open.
Yeah.
He calls this random ass number. Like it had like a name that started with a D and had like a couple X's in it or whatever. And we were all just kind of looking around like, okay, here goes Netflix. We're like really hoping somebody answers. Like really.
And some guy's like, hello, Netflix.
He's like, hey, it's Netflix going on. What's up?
Forget about it. It's a Netflix.
Franklin, we were just talking about you here at Netflix, The Office.
It's Joey from Netflix. What do you need?
Yeah. You can hear a jackhammer in the background.
Yeah.
It was like...
Oh, let me step into my
There's
office.
a meat grinder in the back.
It's like a fan, like buzzing.
Oh my god! And,
It's just my AC. Don't worry about it.
It's hot in Los Angeles, you know. Anyway,
coworker just got a PlayStation 4.
Los Angeles.
He's like chilling with his kid. He's like, my boss actually loves watching Coco Melon, so that's why you can hear it in the background. He's like, it's not my kid though, it's my boss. But yeah, so that guy, whole nother story. But Rudy helps us like fix up the whole van. So Nate and I are like, all right, sayonara, like 9 o'clock. And we had to drive like, I think it was what, Nate, like 7 or 8, 9 hours
9.
back to Arizona.
14 from Denver to Phoenix, and we had knocked out 5 of the hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then we had a 4-hour hold up after that too. By the time all that was over with, so
We ended up getting the van home. We stopped, I think, 3 times for gas that I remember because they were like terrifying. Like the first time we stopped, like Nate like goes to turn it on. It's like, I was like, put it in drive and go.
I think we were in Gallup.
Yeah, that was one that had the casino in
Yeah.
there. And then everyone was inside the casino. They're like, Sandy, good to see you.
Like a truck stop casino.
Oh, I love a truck stop casino. You know, the odds in those slots are not working in your favor. No.
I don't think the odds in your life are working in your favor either. I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
But you can get a hell of a good steak.
Oh yeah,
you can't get a hell
at
of
the
a
rest stop.
mashed potatoes on the side.
I saw a picture one time.
So did you make it?
Somehow.
We made it. I don't know how.
We realized we didn't have water, and we thought we might break down again. I think it was like an hour and a half from Santa Fe to Gallup. That or we just drove really fast.
I feel the need to fact check you, but I'm not going to.
It was just Nate and I in the van.
Yeah, it was like 11 at that time, and we're like, man, if we break down again, like we got a whole lot of desert
Fucked.
and we have no water.
Yeah.
So we went in, we grabbed a bunch of water, totally filled the van up. The van is old enough to where it has an oil pressure gauge.
Mhm.
And I start the van up, and then that gauge is just like slapping. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
going
oh,
crazy.
no. Yeah.
And it's idling weird. It had a new fuel filter. The van, that was like what needed to be replaced. It's like such a stupid thing to break down for. But, you know, all that fuel is just like coagulating, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's idling, like it's literally just going. And I'm just sitting there in park. And I'm like, Jack, do you think? And then Jack's like, put it in drive, go. Put it in drive, hit the gas.
Hope for the best. Punch it.
And we just
Yeah.
cheesed it.
He lowered his sunglasses from his forehead, winked at you, and said, punch it.
We made it home, and then we were supposed to have another tour in Texas and had to actually end up canceling it because we realized the van was like this close to exploding.
Oh my God.
We had a catalytic converter, which makes the story even better because Nate and I drove a bomb home.
It was a rear differential. That would have been bad if that would have blown up on the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Wages of Fear remake really went off the rails.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear guys riffing way better than you're currently riffing, and you're like, oh man,
Dude, that entire time I was just like, fuck, I'm being outclassed.
oh god, like they had voices, they had like story structure.
So good. Such good chem. I mean, they're brothers, so that helps. And I think this is potentially an intro to another clip, or we didn't listen to the full clip, and this is also a part of the clip. But either way, there's also a part where they do a really incredible impersonation of their mom. So that either goes right here or you already heard it.
When I was in the 5th grade, we would go out on recess and play football, like in this big field
In Arizona or where?
in Arizona. Yeah. So like after we'd fight like 16 Gila monsters to get out there.
It's pronounced Gila. Gila monster.
Sorry, Gila monsters.
Oh, thank you.
So we were like playing football one time. I throw a bunch of people like, you know, kids like bumping into each other and shit. And like the last time I ever played football, I was playing quarterback, all-star, could have gone pro.
Mhm, of course.
And then threw the ball. As soon as I threw the ball, this kid in my class, who will remain nameless, obviously, pushed me.
No, come on. Name.
All right.
Name.
Shame.
Lucas
Boom.
pushed me.
I really just wanted a first name. Jarek, bleep the last name out there.
No, dox him for this
I don't
horrible
give a
crime
shit.
committed
Yeah,
20 years
Get
ago.
my fucking life. So he pushed me and I fell backwards, like arms up, like Naruto, but like backwards. and just broke both my hands.
Oh no! Oh my
So I
god!
get up and I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. It's whatever. And like we go inside and like,
Yep,
you know,
gotta say
all the
that,
girls are like, is he okay? And they're like, he's fine. And they're like, thank God. And so I get back in class and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of thirsty. Pick up my water bottle in my backpack and I'm like trying to open it, but my hand is like fucking bionicle. I'm like,
You tried to use your broken.
and I'm like looking up my
limp
fifth grade
hand.
teacher and he's like, you okay? I'm like, no, I don't think so. Like, I'm like trying to open this and he's like, yeah, just go to the nurse. And there wasn't like upfront fuckery afoot with my hands. It was just like they weren't purple yet, basically. And so I was just kind of holding them like weird. And so I go to the nurse and she calls my mom. My mom shows up, bless her heart. And she's like, come on, we're going to the hospital right now. And she like takes me to the hospital and then I get.
Wait, okay, dive into this mom impression a little bit more.
Okay, so our mom, we're pretty tight with our mom. And so we're going on tour. We leave on Tuesday, a week from today. Short little tour. And my mom's like, well, you know, I was reading, I was on Facebook and they were talking about alligators in Florida. And they're not just in the lakes. They walk on the sidewalks and they're there at night. That's when they come out. And if you go by the ocean, Jackson, I'm serious. Don't laugh. I'm serious.
Jackson, they're sharks.
I was like, Mom, what the fuck you think we're doing in Florida? Like, I'm not going lake jumping in Florida. Like, we're not playing like a swamp. Like, we're playing a venue. Like, it's fine. If anything, like, it's more likely that we get like, I don't know, carjacked in Florida than like an alligator attacks me. Like, she thinks we're going to Florida to fight alligators. And she's like, you guys are not taking this seriously enough. You did not even bring spray.
Gator spray. Yep, you got a gator spray, of course. Yeah.
We had a whole conversation last night about bears. It was my dad's birthday last night. So we were like all eating dinner and we're talking. And she's like, if you see a bear, like, cause I'll go hammock with my friends.
Did you wait? Sorry. Did you use hammock as a verb just now? You go hammock?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You go and you set up a hammock and then you just chill?
I just chill.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Continue.
Like I said, I'm a pretty chill guy, you know,
Yeah.
I just go there, chill.
Cool guy. Cool, chill guy. Yeah.
I up there in my hammock, throwing my cigarette butts on the ground.
On bears. Yep.
Yeah. Make sure my plastic's everywhere
They
when I
love
leave.
it. Yeah, that's right. If you're not leaving more than you brought in, you're doing it wrong. Right?
Exactly.
You got to give nature something to fight back against, otherwise it won't get stronger.
Yeah. That's how I like to live. Dangerously and like an asshole. But yeah, so like we'll go up there and she's like, you gotta look out for mountain lions. Do you know what to do if a mountain lion sees you? Do you know what to do? I was on TikTok and this lady got followed by a mountain lion.
Oh, a mountain lineman. I like that.
A mountain lineman. And then we started talking about the difference between like grizzly bears and black bears. And Nate and I were like, well, black bears are like generally afraid of you.
They say like if it's a black bear, then you should fight back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're able bodied.
Because they're smaller, right?
Yeah, but the grizzly bear stuff is like lay down and just
Accept your fate.
just become the bear's bitch and act like you're dead, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, if she says anything about a bear and you're like, well, like we're not really going to see bear, or like you try and relieve the situation, she takes it as like, they're going to go fight a fucking bear and they're not listening to me. And like, you know, it's like a whole thing. And so today I got home from work and she sent me this thing and she's like, she sent me like a video of a black bear. She's like, that's not as big as a dog. Like, that's all it said. It said that like baby bears were like about as big as a dog.
Yeah, last night I was like, black bears are the size, if you could imagine like a really, really big dog.
Like me.
Yeah.
Big dog, wild tuna.
That's right. Classic alpha.
Wild tuna.
Classic elf.
That's a classic wild tuna moment right there.
Okay, get ready. We're only half an hour in.
Oh, man.
But okay, finish the hand story.
Oh, yeah. So I got both my hands broken, right? I went to the hospital and they're like, yep, you broke your fucking hands. So I broke my wrist on this hand and then I broke like my like this part on this hand. And so I had a cast here and a splint here. The reason I got a splint was so I could still play guitar, which was stupid. I probably shouldn't have done that. So like 2 weeks later, I'm back at school. My hands are like all bundled up. I'm like Edward Scissorhands, but like there's no danger. If anything, I'm just like the least dangerous person. And I'm walking around out in the field, like not running, not doing anything, like just kind of by myself. And then I stepped in a fucking hole. I don't know who dug the hole for what. It was at least 4.5 inches. And I like stepped in the hole and my ankle like twisted so far
no.
that when like that cartilage like that snaps your ankle back into place, when it over snapped it.
Oh,
so
God.
I broke my fucking ankle
Oh,
like
my
2
God.
weeks later. And so I'm just like, I have one leg. That's it.
Fucking idiot.
I love a good band, man.
A little bant, getting a little banty.
Oh, they banted. Which I'm currently like, oh man, I'm not selling my bant today, man.
I'm off my bant.
Oh, we're all off our bant. Oh god, it's December. We're all closing out the year. 2023 is our year for bants.
But listen, you know, there's another really excellent clip in which we have some top tier band. And that's in episode 135, Late Night Without Brian Wecht, which you were present for. And we're going to play a clip from that I'm fond of, that also has accents, right here.
My lemon is that I flew on Spirit Airlines.
Oof.
And it's like, that could just be the lemon. But I flew layover in Dallas and then to DC because I was going for a wedding. And then I went up to New York for my guest spot. But first flight, totally normal. Had to circle a bit because there was a thunderstorm. But they were like, do you want a drink? And I was like, oh, sure. And they're like, cool, it'll be $5. And I was like, for a Coke? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, then I don't want a drink. And then in the second Spirit
There wasn't like a
Airlines
$5
one,
asking charge.
you don't get a free drink anymore. And I was like, that's fine. I didn't really care. It's just weird that you switched it up. I don't know. And then in the second Spirit Airlines, they didn't have running water. They just had an X over the sink and a bunch of like little Sandy towels. And I was like, what? Like the most Spirit Airlines
Did the
thing.
pilot invite you to like flap your hands really hard on takeoff?
They had to announce it too. They were like, there's no running water on this flight. So no coffee, tea, or water.
Oh my God.
So that was just weird. It was not really inconvenient, but it was just like, weird. I just don't like the concept of not having running water.
Yeah, it's like I'm paying money to fly through the air. I can't have a little Diet Coke while I'm at it. What the fuck?
Oh, what? So it's illegal to have a little sip, have a little beverage in my my tunnel that shouldn't be flying through the air, doing what God forbade us? So what? It's illegal to question God's might?
Yesterday, I was talking to my therapist and I referred to something that my body was doing as an aberration in the eyes of God. A normal thing for me to say in therapy. And a couple of minutes later, after I was done monologuing, he was like, so I know you were saying that it was an aberration in the eyes of God facetiously, but...
Like, I know we're all in on the bit.
Yeah.
My
So God bless him.
Going off that story, I was talking with my therapist and she stopped me in the middle of a conversation and she was like, you realize this is the third time you've called yourself a chump in this conversation, right?
Am I your therapist? Because I do that to you all the time.
Yeah.
Start
Oh,
billing
God.
him. Bill him by the hour.
You spend a couple days in New York and now you're already doing the New York talk, calling me a chump and then
I feel
thinking
like
that flying is an
watched-
aberration.
What would like the bimboification, but you becoming even more Northeastern over the time that I've known you? Because I feel like you're moving towards it.
You just show up with
It's increasing.
lobsters.
Yeah.
I have lobsters, a bagel, and I'm pissed about something that is like very not real.
Shrimp season is not coming in this year.
Shrimp season's not coming in. Snow crabs, they're out there. My boys are out on the docks and they're waiting to get out there, but the storm's coming in, you know. They're fucking townies.
Who's got a lemon? Leighton.
I have a lemon. I love waking up so early. It is so yummy. Love doing it. But lately, because I've been gaming too hard, I've been oversleeping and waking up. Like I woke up at 11 a.m. today.
Oh, that's gamer hours.
like a fucking chump. Like who? What am I? 12? What is this? What am I? 17? It threw me off. I was so mad. What do you mean I don't get my extra like fucking 5? I can't do math. Thank God Brian's not here. My extra like 5 hours to dick around during my day. Now I have to just like go do things. And I go into the store and I'm like, good morning. And they're like, it's new.
How early were you waking up?
I'm like 6:37.
Okay, cool. And what's your address? No! No, not my address! Jerry, cut that
Uno
out!
reverse.
Come
Uno reverse.
on!
All right, great. So we all did lemons. Now we will each do one peach each, and I'm gonna burp, so that's why I'm talking like this.
One peach. peach, one peach each. One peach, one peach each. One peach, one peach each. One peach, one peach each.
I got a peach because Brian is dead.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Because Brian's playing the great NSP show in the sky.
Singing about God's butthole
This
now.
is gonna be really like fucked up looking back on this, and it's like, yeah, he really like played that keyboard until he came himself to death.
Yeah, I was telling Jory that I was planning on coming in here and acting like Brian had died, and he was like, "It's going to be really awkward when he dies, like next month." Anyway, I was around his child last night, so Daddy's out of town.
The worst way to say that.
Yeah, could you rephrase that really quickly?
Just looking through the window.
I was in his child's area.
60 feet away, 60 feet away.
All right, so Brian's dead. Brian's dead, so I was babysitting his child, and we were hanging out. She showed me, like, I'm not exaggerating, at least 20 more things you didn't know about Breath of the Wild videos.
That's so cute.
I learned a lot about Breath of the Wild and the glitch and hacking community. Then we put together a little like papercraft haunted house thing, and it was good. I love that. So this is me picking up the mantle of Brian, who is dead, to talk about how great Audrey is, because Audrey is the greatest. We got pizza. She's just like a very snuggly child. She's just such a gamer. She kept like pausing the videos and then rewinding them to make sure I caught all of the tips and tricks. And it was like, did you hear it? It's the theme from Twilight Princess, but it's faster this time. Did you hear it? Listen again. Cover one ear. It's easier to hear it if you cover one ear.
Your friendship with this child has been like one of the most heartwarming things to experience from afar, to see like you putting in like honest effort to like make sure that this kid grows up cool.
Yeah, and it's really paying off because she doesn't have a dad anymore.
You know that this is technically
this was the long haul of Dream Daddy.
Yeah, is this not Dream Daddy 2, where you become the father figure to like a poor orphaned child?
Dream
Rest
Daddy
in
2,
peace,
Lady
Brian.
Daddies.
Oh my God. Yeah, there will be a Forbes article about that one. Jesus. Yeah, so that's
Leighton Gray in child's area.
I really, really enjoy getting to just like sort of riff with you, Jarek, and Allison. I really, really, really like just making and building jokes with you guys.
Yeah, it's incredible. And speaking of jokes from that episode, here's another one.
Yeah, fuck it. My What's Poppin' is Channel 5. Like, I hope everybody watches that. And Channel 5 is like the only YouTuber that exists. Andrew Callahan. I just think he's a neat dude.
I don't know if I can say the joke.
Say it. Now you got it. Yeah. No.
I just like, look, the way that I judge how I trust a man is if I look at him and he looks like he would suck a girl dick. And Andrew Callahan looks like he would suck a girl dick. Like he's got that and glint in his eyes.
glint in his eyes.
And not like in a chaser way. I just think if presented, he would do a little sloppy toppy.
I love how now we can never have him on this show. Like he would ever come on our show.
I feel like that I'm really guaranteeing that he would come on the show and be like, yeah, no, yeah.
Where can I line up for the sloppy top?
It's like, oh, hey, Bernie, here's the reason why you're never going to work with Andrew Callahan ever.
Listen, you're not the one who said it.
That's true.
Dude, I'm so excited for his HBO doc.
Oh, God, I'm so ready, man.
I wonder if he,
Yeah, it's like sloppy toppy.
Yeah, little girl thing.
Sloppy toppy.
Great. Speaking of a song that's basically about
Yeah,
sloppy
make
toppy.
it come around. How are we doing the transition?
Isn't that so natural? Speaking of songs that are about a little sloppy toppy on the side, this is maybe my favorite moment from
can
the
you do
year.
that one more time just because you said slongs on accident? let's
Wait, did I?
redo that. Yeah, let's redo that. Get a clean take.
Wait, did I say where did
said
I say
slongs.
slongs? Speaking of slongs that are about a little sloppy toppy on the side.
Probably my favorite mispronunciation of a word I've ever heard.
I forget whatever convoluted fucking sloppy toppy bullshit I was doing.
Anyways, we're here at the clip.
This is the clip. This is maybe my favorite of the year. This is Jarek serenading us.
I genuinely like that song "Lips of an Angel" by Hinder.
No.
No, oh, dude, come on, dude,
So
it's
do
so
I.
sick. It slaps, dude. Like the production's great, the songwriting is ridiculous. Like I think it's so bad that I love it, and it's my go-to karaoke song.
Really?
It is my go-to karaoke song. There's this bar in Brooklyn that I always go to with my friends whenever I'm in New York, and I've done "Lips of an Angel" twice.
Mhm.
And people just lose their shit when I sing "Lips of an
Can you
Angel."
sing a little bit for us?
Yeah, hit us.
Of course. The hook goes, "It's really good to hear your voice saying my name. It sounds so sweet. Coming from the lips of an angel. Hearing those words, it makes me weak."
Jarek, you got me. I'm tearing up.
Brian's
oh my
crying.
God. That's so great.
You could probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen Brian laugh so hard he cries. And all of those except for right now have been Jory.
Oh my God. Jarek, that was. I gotta go. Oh.
God, isn't Jarek the best? Just fucking
I am
magical person.
such a fan of Jarek. And I have to say that a couple times per episode, or else he like really compresses my audio.
Yeah, you know, that's the
makes
bargain that we make.
He just makes like it sound like I'm coming up from a well.
We're all truth coming out of a well to shame mankind. Wow, wasn't that a great load of clips that we just listened to that totally summarized the year of Late Night 2022?
It is kind of late at night in that like we said it was going to be a clip episode, but I'm pretty sure like the first 20 minutes were us just like low energy complaining about movies. So
Yeah.
really it is the late night experience.
Yes, it is.
Would you say you had a good year like with late night? Because like what I see when I see late night is just like a couple of guys who have been like at it. And with podcasts, like the progression of quality of a podcast is such like a hard to understand thing. But like I see you guys putting in the work week after week, and you're getting this like steady progression of quality guests. And I think I think 2023 is going to be big for late night.
Wow, thanks, buddy. I feel great about the episodes that we did this year. I don't want to say that it's been a rough year for me personally. It's been a regular year with both good and bad. I just, my brain, it does not work correctly. So a lot of these episodes were recorded. Actually, I would say most of this show has been recorded where I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta get it together and not sound too depressed.
You always say that to me, and I always go and listen to the episode, and it's always a good episode.
No, I know that, but literally you were present when I had like a 45-minute long panic attack in a group of people at a party and nobody noticed. So like,
oh yeah,
it's a
you're pretty good at
very,
that.
I'm very good at squelching it down. It just does not feel good. But, I'm hoping I'm going to put this intention out there publicly. I would really love it if we were able to get on a network this year.
I want to see that
And
so
if
badly.
we don't get on a network by the end of the year, I'm quitting and I'm moving to Alaska.
Telling you, man, like there's just that certain amount of money in my bank account where I'm like, man, if it gets bad, that's the cabin money. That's the cabin in the woods money right there.
Yeah, well, we're not going to have to go straight to the cabin in the woods money because before the chance that you would need to use that, we're all going to be in the trenches. So,
in the trenches of the water wars.
So yeah, people listening who didn't submit your favorite bits of the year, what were your favorite bits of the year? Are there guests you'd like to see in the new year? Is there a point to any of the things that we do as human beings?
Are you going into 2023 with also this sense of like undefinable malaise? Who knows? Make sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And dig that bell icon. Subscribe.
Subscribe to our Patreon, and we have merch. We actually have a beanie bundle where you can get the cum beanie and the peaches and lemons beanie. They're nice, and we'll have new merch at some point. Just, life.
Hey, thanks for having me on here, man. I'm always happy to jump on here.
Thank you for last minute jumping in to be Brian. And I do think if it so pleases the court and also Brian. I would love to do a solo you and me, like full length.
I would love to just watch a movie and then just talk about it with you.
If you and I did like, we watch our thing and we both get really stoned and we just have a recorded version of the types of conversations that we have on the balcony. We could even do guerrilla recording, actually recording bits of it on our respective balconies.
A Vernon Layton real like gonzo piece.
Bitch sesh.
Of just like what it's like to be on Vernon's balcony after he smoked a bowl of weed and watched Criterion Classic movie.
Yeah, the raw audio will be 3 hours and 20 minutes of them will be salvageable for public listening.
Jesus Christ. Good luck with that one. But no, I would very, very much love to show up here more and just talk shit. I don't do a lot of like public appearances anymore. So that like this always feels like coming out from the woods to be like, yeah, hey, I'm still alive. You haven't killed me yet. I'm still working on shit.
Indeed. And aren't we all just trying to stay alive and not kill each other and work on shit and have a regular amount of serotonin in our brains?
Yeah.
Folks at home, thanks for listening to this episode of Late Night. I think we'll have a part 2 of this clip show. Maybe. Something will happen, but you will have content to listen to, okay? In this Christmas season, whether you're with your family or you're alone eating cheese, I hope you have a good time and that you stay warm. And that above all, Vernon, will you say the catchphrase of the show?
Above all, I hope you stay safe and come hard.
Merry Christmas!
See you in 2023. Bye.
Bye.
Leighton Night is produced by Brian Wecht, Leighton Gray, and Jarek Centeno. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at leightonnight@gmail.com.